My name is Rosie Crumpton-Crook and I'm President of the Neill-Fraser Support Group. And yesterday when I was deciding what to say today, I thought, not for the first time, how much longer is it going to take until the Tasmanian authorities properly investigate what happened to Bob Chappell, who disappeared on Australia Day in 2009, 14 long years ago. Bob Chappell was a good man, and we remember him here today. Bob was a fair man who treated all people equally. He hated injustice. Bob Chappell has been denied justice. Not only have the people who were involved in his murder never been called to account, but Bob's loved partner of 18 years, Sue Neill-Fraser, has been wrongly convicted of the crime. We seek justice for Bob and for Sue. Successive Tasmanian governments have chosen to ignore evidence which irrefutably shows that Sue Neill-Fraser has been wrongfully convicted. As I was deciding what to say today, I found myself watching the late Chester Porter QC on YouTube way back in 2013, a decade ago, warning Tasmania's legal establishment that it would become a laughingstock over the uncorrected Sue Neill-Fraser conviction. Maybe the major political parties, maybe Tasmania Police and the Office of the DPP don't care about being a laughingstock, but they should care that an innocent woman has spent 13 years in prison and had her and her family's life completely derailed. Why is it that the only politicians who have had the courage to speak out about this case are the independents? Thank you, Andrew Wilkie, Meg Wegg, Mike Gaffney and Christy Johnston. And why are the politicians from major parties staying silent? The Tasmanian government has now received so much information pointing to Sue's innocence. Issues that remain appealable for Sue Neill-Fraser were identified by Tony Jacobs, a respected former prosecutor, others by Flinders University legal academic Dr. Bob Moles, and yet others by lawyer Barbara Etta and barrister Hugh Selby. Not to mention various lawyers, barristers working on Sue's case, and much of this has been reported on film, TV, podcasts, blogs, and in print media. 4 books have been written about this case, all pointing to Sue's innocence. So much in Sue's favour is seemingly ignored. Where is the scrutiny? There did not appear to be appropriate scrutiny by Tas Police and the Office of the DPP when they hounded Solicitor Jeff Thompson for 5 years. The DPP was eventually forced to drop charges of pervert course of justice against Jeff when Justice Brett found the surveillance of Jeff had been illegally obtained. The then Police Commissioner announced that there would be a review of what had occurred, and the original terms of reference for the review surprisingly stated that the police had done nothing illegal. Since when do terms of reference for a review preempt the outcome of the review? Is there one law for Sue and one law for Taspol? Bill Rowlings, who's the CEO of Civil Liberties Australia, sent this statement to be read out today. Bill says, officials must disclose the evidence they hold which may help to absolve Sue. Sue Neill-Fraser is forced today to wear a shackling bracelet, even though the Tasmanian Attorney General and the Office of the DPP and Forensic Science Service Tasmania and Tasmania Police know facts that could help her conviction to be overturned. Collectively known as the Crown, they failed to disclose relevant evidence they knew of at her original trial and in appeals, facts which are likely to have secured her acquittal and helped convict the real killers of Bob Chappell. Bill says it is treachery by the government itself to refuse to follow the well-known rules of evidence disclosure. Treachery for them to fail to obey how our courts and justice system are meant to work. Some of these hard facts are revealed in the Etta Selby papers tabled behind us here in the upper house of Tasmanian's Parliament in August 2021. In the 18 months since then, even more examples of the Crown's failure to disclose relevant evidence have emerged. Because officials still today refuse to disclose relevant evidence they hold, they are still today misleading the court processes and thwarting justice. Their duty to disclose all relevant evidence is to the court, not to Sue. That duty never ends. If the state's own officers and officials will not abide by the law, if they will not reveal the evidence they hold so as to help absolve Sue of a crime, then the Parliament must order a commission of inquiry independent of Tasmanian appointees as soon as possible. In my opinion, to do anything less would be continue to condone injustice in Australia. Signed, Bill Rawlings. And thank you, Bill, for those words. Authorities cannot continue to hide behind the mantra that Sue has had her day in court, that she has had subsequent appeals, because the duty of disclosure lasts forever. Sue is out of prison, but she is not a free woman. She is not free to lobby for herself, to fight for her rights. She is not at this rally today, a rally that supports her, because she is not allowed to interact with media, and it was not known what would happen if media were here. She may not be here, but she is with us in heart and in spirit. If Sue was in the UK or America, she would be allowed to brief journalists about her case. She would have a voice. But we will be Sue's voice, and we will continue to demand justice for Sue and for Bob. And to quote Andrew Urban, Tasmania's legal establishment wants to shut this case down, but the continuing uproar of dissent over the demonstrable wrongful conviction of Sue Neill-Fraser will not be silenced.